Hi, I'm Matt, founder of Afuera Coffee, coffee for the outdoors. Afuera means outside in Spanish, and we believe your coffee should be as exceptional as your outdoor experiences. We source specialty coffee, grown sustainably, sourced with care, and roasted on demand. No hype, no gourmet or premium labels, just the best coffee you've ever had delivered to your door. We roast, bag, and ship right here in the U.S., and everything we do has Mother Nature at the forefront of our decision making, from compostable bags to recycled mailers and labels. Plus, we donate 5% of all sales, not just profits, to charities that protect and preserve the outdoors we love. Ready to upgrade your coffee and make a difference? Check us out at afueracoffee.com. That's AFUERA coffee.com. You'll find our full lineup of roasts, stories behind the beans, and more about the causes we support. Enjoy your next outdoor adventure with purpose and an incredible coffee in hand.
For almost 50 years, Midway USA has been America's go-to source for just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Go to midwayusa.com to see our latest deals and promotions and take advantage of our super fast same-day shipping. If you need a cooler, a new fishing rod, another rifle, ammo, or a reloading press, you can find it all at midwayusa.com. Thanks for your business.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we have a good one for you today. This episode was actually recorded, like 7 or 8 months ago. Today's guest is ShedCrazy, Ben Dettamanti, if you don't know him. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever hunted with, very entertaining guy, and he had some amazing stories for us. However, something a little weird happened during the entire process of one of these stories, and he's like, hey, let's not share that right now until some of the kind of smoke from what was going on kind of blows over. And you'll hear all about it in the story today. He's given me permission to release it. So here we are, guys. Hope you enjoy. Ben, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I hope to have you on again soon, man. You're a ton of fun. But yeah, guys, make sure you share. Make sure you follow ShedCrazy. Make sure you follow me. Share the podcast with at least one other person. And please do give us a review. I hope you enjoy this episode. Now let's go ahead and let Ben tell you some of his stories. All right, Ben, welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast, man. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. It's good to see you. It's been a few months since we last connected, and you're a busy guy, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm often hard to get a hold of, but I'm glad we can sit down for a minute, dude. It's good to chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. For the people who don't know, we're talking with Ben Dettamanti. Did I say that right?
Yeah, nailed it.
Perfect. So Ben, otherwise known as ShedCrazy. Ben, why don't you introduce yourself? I've been following you for a long time, but we actually ran into each other like 6 months ago. So tell the people who you are, what you do, and what else you might think is interesting about yourself.
Yeah. So, yep. Like you said, my name's Ben Dettamanti. Go by ShedCrazy on most of my social media accounts, but I'm a full-time content creator. I do YouTube, Instagram for a living. I've been doing it full-time for about 8 years now. And yeah, just trying to make a living in the hunting world and by doing what I want instead of what people think I should be doing.
Hell yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I love it, man. So I've been following you on Instagram for a long time. You are not afraid to just like say what's on your mind. I love it when you make fun of 6.5 Creedmoor people. Like, it seems like you're always defending yourself, and you're like, whatever, don't be so sensitive. And I appreciate what you do. You're a funny person in the hunting industry to like follow. And you're not doing all the skits that a lot of the other hunting guys are doing. You're just being yourself. You're not like faking wigs and stuff like that. So, man, I appreciate what you do. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But we're not here to toot your horn too much here. We just want to hear your favorite stories, brother. So what do you got for us? You pick which one first. If you have any where like somebody does something really stupid, those are my personal favorite stories. Even if it's you or a friend, or you could say it's a friend, whatever you need. But what do you got in mind? Set the stage for us.
Well, I think, man, the one that I probably ought to tell and that I haven't really told much, I mean, it's kind of blown up on social media here just recently. I had this video that I just barely put up, and in the video you see like this really cool clip of me walking up and shooting this bull off of a ledge at 4 yards.
Yeah.
And it's a big bull. The wind's ripping. And like, I hadn't shared this clip, and there's a lot of reason why I hadn't shared it. There's a lot of backstory behind this. It actually turned into like a fairly big kind of like a controversy and actually big pain in my butt. But yeah, so that video, I put it up the other day. It has 7 million something views on YouTube. It's just absolutely blowing up over there.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. It's one of the best videos I've ever got. I've had it in my phone forever. I'm like, I know this is going to blow up, but the story behind it is a little wild. So
perfect.
Yeah, so I live in Utah. I hunt elk on these over-the-counter units all the time. Have for the last 20 years, you know. They're very, very low elk density, low success rates. There's been years where like it takes you a week or 2 weeks to even see an elk.
Yeah.
And we put in the work, you know, we cover country on these units. And anyway, so I decided to hunt a unit again in Utah that's just, it's deserty. I mean, almost no elk. And doing some preseason scouting, we found some bulls, me and a couple buddies. And they were in a spot where I've never even seen elk. And so I was super surprised. I was super stoked because I felt like we were going to have these elk to ourselves, which like never happens on the general unit.
Yeah.
So we watch them for the weeks leading up to the hunt. We know what they're doing. We know where they're traveling. We know where they're bedding and where they're hanging out. Like, we're pretty dialed. So opening morning of the hunt rolls around. We go out there. We post up and we see the bulls. They're headed right the way they've been going. And they're just headed up the canyon. And so we didn't see anybody around. We're like, sweet, let's get this thing in motion. So a buddy of mine moved in. He was kind of first up, and he went in to kind of get in the path of the bulls as they were coming up through. We were spotting for them from kind of across the canyon. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm watching these bulls come out, and through my binoculars, I see a guy. I'm like, oh,
no
man,
shit.
I've never seen anybody out here. Here's a dude.
Yeah.
So the dude has no idea that the elk are there.
Is he like a recreational
like,
guy, or is he an actual hunter?
Full camo,
Okay.
tripod, spotter set up. Dude's obviously hunting.
Okay.
So I'm like, what the heck? But okay, I mean, there's a guy, so whatever. So he is in the direct path of where these elk are headed. And he has no idea that they're there. He's like texting on his phone. He's hitting his vape. He's standing up on the rocks. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's going to spook these bulls. Well, randomly, he walks over to the other edge, kind of the plateau, and looks off, and the elk are right there. And I see him duck down and run back and grab his bow, and he gets set up.
He didn't have his bow with him.
And I'm
Perfect.
like, no, he just walked to the edge to look. He gets his bow. He gets behind this big rock, and this bull walks right to him. I have the video of this. Like, he's in the foreground, elk in the background. I'm like, he's going to shoot this bull. So the bull walks to him, and it walks past him at a decent distance. I mean, it had to be like 60, 70 yards.
Okay.
But it's kind of angling past him, and he's waiting for his moment, and I see him sit up and draw his bow. He draws the elk, kind of starts to turn broadside, and he shoots. And the bull kind of like fakes the turn broadside and turns away from him, and he ends up hitting it through the back of the front leg and out the front of the leg.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's like low of the vitals, and it's just through the meat.
Yeah.
So we can see the arrow hanging out of the front of the bull's leg. The bull runs out like maybe 50 yards and just stands there because it doesn't know what happened. It's putting its weight on it, trying to see if it's injured or what. And then the bull just kind of like starts wandering away, and then it starts running. The other bull follows it, and they just kind of run. They run like 1,500 yards along this rim of this kind of mesa, and they duck down into this little canyon. And we're like, dang, that kid shot like the best bull. You know, it's this nice 6-point. And we're like, well, now what? So we sit there, and that was about 7 a.m. It was right after first light. And we sit there, and like 2-3 hours go by, and this guy's just kind of still sitting where he shot from. And we're like, okay, like either he knows that he hit it poorly and he's trying to let it settle down so he can stalk it, or he doesn't know that he hit it bad. Like, I don't know what's going on. So about another hour goes by, and we just sitting there, and finally we sent our buddy. We're like, dude, go talk to him. Like, go see what his plan is. Go see if he's going to go after the bull or what. So we sent a buddy over to talk to him, and buddy pops up on the ridge and says, hey man, like, are you going to go after that bull? He's like, I'm waiting for some people to come help me, and we're going to go pack it out. And our buddy's like, well, you know, you like hit him in the leg, right? And the kid didn't really like, I don't know if he didn't believe him or what, but he said, that bull's not going to die. Like, it's hit in the leg. And he said, well, I'll just, wait for these people to get here. And the guy we sent over there, he says, we can guide you in. We know where he's at. Like, if you want, like, we'll help you go in and put a shot on this bull, you know? And he said, no, I don't need help. I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah. So time goes by. It's now noon. And he shot the bull at 7 a.m. So we're like, okay, so the bull, we can still see it, and we can see the bull that's with it. And this is like, you know, an over-the-counter unit. There's 2 legal bulls there. So I asked my buddies, I'm like, you guys want to go in and go after the other bull, or what's the story? And they were kind of like, I don't know. It feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we'll see, I guess. So the 2 bulls split up, and they kind of went like around the draw from each other. So now we have the 6-point that's hit, and then we have the 1-horn 5-point, which is not hit. He's just over here bedded. And I'm like, well, where they at right now? You could go kill that other bull. So I'm going to go try to kill him. So I went walking in there. I made the big loop around, and I snuck in on top of that 1-horn 5-point. Well, in the middle of the stalk, unbeknownst to me, the 6-point came back around and was right underneath me. So
Oh, no shit.
when I popped out looking off the ledge, the 6-point's at 20 yards now. And I'm like, oh, geez. So in my mind, I'm like, well, this is an over-the-counter unit, and there's a 6-point in front of me. Like, whether or not that kid hit it good or not doesn't really matter. Like, here's a legal bull. I'm just going to shoot it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see. And then, like, I'll talk to him and talk to everybody else, and we'll decide, right? Because, you know, like, to me, if I back out, there's a chance I bump it, or there's no guarantee that guy's going to be able to walk in and get another shot. So as you can see in that video, I sneak up to the edge, and I put an arrow in that bull at 4 yards. Well, the wind's ripping. The wind's going like 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I hit that bull, and you can see that my arrow leaves the bow, and the fletches actually kind of contact the rock in front of the bull, and it just kind of flips that arrow into the shoulder of the bull. And it gets through the shoulder. I'm shooting heavy poundage, you know, heavy arrows.
It's super close.
It gets through. Yeah, I mean, that close. It gets through the shoulder, and then it backs kind of out when the bull spins, and it's hung up on the back of the shoulder blade. Well, the bull runs down 40 yards and stops again. So I draw. Dude, I mean, it was like something out of a freaking movie, because I put my pin on that bull. He's standing quarter away, 40 yards. I'm like, follow up arrow, bull's dead, right? Oof, I break that release, dude. And my arrow drifted 4 feet in the wind. That's how hard the wind was.
I believe
blowing.
it. I believe it. Because, man, in that video, every time I've watched it, I've probably seen like 3 times, 4 times. And every time, all I think about is the noise. And it's just...
Yeah.
It's just
it's like
ripping.
60 plus miles an hour. So I just watched my arrow just drift out and totally miss the elk.
Wow.
I'm like, what the heck? So it stops again at 60, and I'm like, all right, draw, put my pin, and to compensate the 4 feet or so that I thought, you know, I need to make up for the shot, shoot, and at 60, it drifts so far I'm off the body of the bull again. So I miss him 2 more times. I'm like, I can't hit this thing now because of the wind. So anyway, it drops down into the cut, and it kind of goes around and goes down a couple, maybe 150 yards, and goes out of sight.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I know I've got an arrow in the lung. I need to make a follow-up, obviously. So I loop around to start paralleling to get above the bull again to try to find him again. And while I'm walking over, I get a call on the radio from my buddy, and he's like, hey, I just put an arrow in that bull. And I'm like, oh, sweet, dude. I didn't even know you were down there. So the buddy we had sent on the earlier stalk in the morning, now he had ended up over there, and the bull ran right to him, and he put an arrow in that bull.
Oh, no
and
shit.
I'm like, oh, sweet. So I'm super relieved, because I'm like, okay, a follow-up shot's what needed to happen. So I peek over the edge, and right there below me, the bull's laying down. It's dying. My buddy, I think, put one more in it just as a security, and the bull dies.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, the bull's dead. That's what's important. But now it's like, what the heck? What do we do? You know, like three people have now shot a bull, which is insane, because there's no people hardly out there, no elk. And it's just like, now we got 3 guys with the arrow in this bull. So I'm sitting there like, man, I kind of like screwed this whole thing up, right? Like, I don't really feel like
wasn't your
I don't
intent.
feel like it's my bull.
Wasn't your intent.
No, because I'm like, I didn't hit it first or last, so it's not really my bull, you know. So I went down and I talked to my buddy who had put put a perfect arrow in this bull, and I'm like, what do you think, dude? And he's like, dude, it's yours, man, it's yours. And I'm like, well, I don't feel like it's mine. And he's like, well, if you like feel weird about it, he's like, I don't mind tagging it. And I'm like, well, I have a bunch of time to hunt still, you know, that's what I do for a living. He's off work, and I'm like, it's okay with me, dude. If you want to tag it, you can tag it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man, I think I would like it. I'm like, Don, dude, it's your bull, right? No hard feelings. Don't care at all.
Yeah.
And so, I left to go get the truck and all the stuff we needed to pack the bull out. And, the first hunter showed up.
Oh, perfect.
So,
so let me ask you a quick question. So obviously it did just hit him in the arm, because did you know how bad his shot was before you actually had the bull on the ground? Or like when you had it on the ground, did you really see how good it was, and you're kind of filling in some blanks from when you went and talked to the guy?
It was a little bit of both. Okay. You know, like I had video, and I'd seen that the arrow was sticking out here, and I knew that the hit wasn't in the body cavity.
Okay.
I knew it was somewhere in that leg, like. And so, but then again, we see the bull dead on the ground, and we're like, oh, that's where he hit him, you know. And we had also watched this bull for 5 hours, and it hadn't even ever bedded. It was just kind of standing around.
Yeah.
It fed at one point for a minute. So I was just like, we knew it wasn't hit lethally.
Yeah.
So after all that happens, and we decide that my friend's tagging it, he puts his tag on the bull. Then the first hunter shows up, and he's pissed. I mean, he's basically saying, you guys stole this elk from me.
Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.
And I wasn't there. Like they kind of had a confrontation. I mean, wasn't there for that part.
Yeah.
And then all
is your buddy as big as you are? Because you're 6'5", like you're a big dude.
Yeah, I'm a big dude, but no, he's not. Okay. He's a little guy.
Okay,
like a very little guy.
Maybe making the first hunter a little bit more brave.
Yeah, he's not a wimp. Like he's a sheriff.
Okay,
but
cool.
Anyway, and then all the friends of him who were coming to help him find the bull show up as well. And it's like 7 people.
No shit.
So,
God, he called everybody.
So it turns out, I mean, and they were just family of his, you know, and they were coming to see the bull. Like, I get it. But it just like turns into like a bit of a showdown. And their tempers get heated and stuff. Anyway, by the time I got back from getting the truck and the side-by-side so we could pack the bull out, my buddy was pretty shook up. And he's like, dude, they were yelling, screaming at me, and I was yelling at them. And I'm like, oh, geez. So this just all got super ugly.
Yeah.
So we butcher the bull, we pack it out, we go home.
Did they back off eventually, or how did it de-escalate?
They left, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually. Like, it was kind of like, it was heated, and they left. Like, it was, I don't know, man. It was not pretty.
Did they see the shot? They're just like the obvious non-kill shot?
I don't know. I think he did try to point it out to him at that point in time, but I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay.
But they did see it later.
Okay.
So, the whole thing goes down. Like, we load the bull, we go home. I wake up the next day, and I texted a buddy of mine, and I'm like, hey, man, like, we killed a bull out here, send him a picture, you know, like you do. And so then the next day I wake up, and that same buddy sends me a screenshot of this Facebook post. And it's like, I hit this bull fatally when I went to blood trail it. There was a guy gutting it. This is his name. This is where he works. He's a corrupt cop.
No shit.
He's a piece of trash. Dude, just this hit piece on my buddy. And I'm like, oh, no. And, of course, I feel responsible because I feel like I'm the one that threw a freaking wrench in the gear on the whole deal. And, like, my buddy wasn't going after the bull. He would have never even been up there if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, gosh, damn it. I guess I got to get involved. So I had to, like, go and piece all the footage together that we had of the whole thing and let people know, be like, hey, that bull wasn't hit fatally. It was hit in the leg. Like, yes, it's a gray area of whether I should have gone after it or not. Like, you can make your own judgments about whether I screwed up or not. Maybe I did. In hindsight, maybe I would have done it differently. But
I don't know. I think I would have shot it, man. Like, given the opportunity, you have the opportunity to kill this bull that has been wounded, not fatally wounded, but like it's gonna have a shitty year, a real shitty winter, and then if it best, then it'll be fine. But like you're really putting it out of its misery. So I'm kind of with you on this one, man. I would have taken that shot, had the conversation with the people, tried to work out something that worked for everybody, but Not when they're gonna do that kind of shit.
Well, yeah, and in that moment too, like if I would have been there when the confrontation happened, I feel like maybe I could have like kind of, like stood in between and been like, okay, let's look at this, and had a more, but the way it happened, it just got sparked, and tempers were heated and stuff. So this Facebook post ends up going mega viral, like shared thousands and thousands of times with my buddy's name in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I pieced together all the information. The first hunter calls the Division of Wildlife. He calls the sheriff's office and files a formal complaint against my buddy.
Jesus.
Saying, yeah. So anyway, that all happened, and the Fish and Game come out and they investigate it, and they're like, there's no wrongdoing. They meet up with the first hunter. They show him where he hit the bull on the carcass, like your arrow's not in the body cavity. So he was able to see that. And then once the video I put together came out that was like, this is what happened, this is the whole story, it really started calming down.
Yeah.
And but there was a lot of pissed off people on all sides. And like the best thing that we finally did is the dad of the hunter reached out to me, and I'm like, dude, tell him to call me. Like, let's just talk this out.
Yeah.
And we finally got on the phone, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry that we screwed up the day and the hunt. I'm sorry it ended up like this. And he's like, yeah, I mean, he's like, I was pissed, but I wish it wouldn't have blown up like this. So we talked through everything, and everybody kind of apologized for what their parts were. And we're all just kind of sending like men. But then you have this thing out there in the world that has gone viral now. But anyway, Fish and Game investigated, said there was no wrongdoing, same with the sheriff's office, and it just kind of like wound down. But I was like, holy crap, man. Like,
yeah,
how does this get so sideways so fast?
That's
and it really
crazy.
gave me
from 1 to a million just
pause.
Instantly, man. That's crazy.
Dude. Yeah, and I mean, I've been pissed. Like, I've shot bulls. I shot twice on this general unit. I've shot elk that other people ended up finishing off and tagging. And it's kind of it sucks, but it's the nature of this hunt. It's extremely competitive. There's very few elk, and I don't know. Yeah, it was just
yeah.
It was a
are you familiar with Cody Rich? He's got a bunch of stories that are very similar, man. So like, apparently he hunted in Oregon initially, and apparently that's the law. Last person to shoot it. So like, some guys wait until they've seen one get injured, and they'll try and beat him to the body and then just shoot the body and be like, nope, sorry, I put it down, because it's the last shot that legally gets it, which is crazy. But also I kind of understand, right? You want to put the animal out of its misery, so the more shots the better, and whoever's the one that puts it down, I think should get it. So
yeah, I think that it's kind of the legal precedent here as well, and that's what the officer told us. I don't think it's a law, but basically that's how it's typically decided. So yeah, if somebody shoots an animal technically and it's flopping around on the ground and you go put one in it, it's your animal, which is wild. Even an officer that I talked to about it here said it happened to him. He said he shot a spike bull with his bow, and it ran down the hill and was dying, doing its final kicks, and somebody walked up and put an arrow in it and tagged it. So,
no shit.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Yeah. It sucks. Like, that's one of the freaking public land warfare things that goes on when you're hunting around. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the West can be like that.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as successful enough of a hunter to have run into this issue yet. I've only killed one elk, so I haven't experienced it, but I could see it. I could see it happening, especially public land here in Colorado, where there's an army of hunters. Let me ask you. So you've had some drama with the actual video. I mean, the video is cool as hell. What's going on there? Yeah. What are people giving you shit for that?
Mostly the penetration on the shot. Like, there's a ton of people saying, "Oh, well," the funniest ones are from anti-hunters that are like, "It's not fair to sneak up on them," which is the funniest thing ever. Because like, that's the whole point, is to sneak up on them. There's a lot of people that are like, "Yeah, you should let it know you're there, and then if you can still get it, then it's true hunting." I'm like, this is the dumbest crap ever. But every time this stuff gets out of the hunting world into like the normal populace, you get these weird sideways opinions. But a lot of people talking crap about like the penetration of the shot, you know what I mean? And that was just kind of like what happened with the scenario. If I would have been shooting a light bow and a light arrow, it would have been worse, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, man. I mean, if your arrow with that wind, I'm not surprised that it smacked the stone, like the fletching smacked the rocks, and like that could take a lot of energy. And again, the people looking at that video, I didn't know that bull had already been shot. So like, again, you're doing it a favor by trying to expedite the end.
Sure. Yeah, and when your bow comes, your arrow comes off your bow, it's the least stable right after it leaves. It has the twang in it and everything. So if it catches a heavy wind right away and it's a short shot, it's just that much less time that it has to stabilize. And that's what happened. The broadhead didn't contact the rock at all. The arrow was just kind of planing because of the way the wind was ripping. But,
that's crazy, man.
And yeah, people just love to talk, man. Never should have took that shot. It's like, yeah, whatever, bro. I don't care. You never would have been there.
Yeah. If I ever was in that position, I'd be ecstatic to take that shot, like a 5-yard shot on a bull. Hell yeah.
Dream scenario, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Except for the wind. I hate wind. I've always have.
Well, that's the thing too, is like when I moved in on that bull, it was calm as could be. And it was just a storm that kicked up right then. And as I got moving, like the last 30 yards, that wind just started just screaming coming up out of that canyon like that. So it's just, those are all the variables we deal with. Real hunters always understand that stuff. It's always the guys that have never done a whole lot that are like, why is it like that? You know?
Yeah, or some guy with his rifle is trying to shoot at 1,000 yards, not understanding you're using a stick and string, man. So you got to get close.
Yeah.
Got to get close.
Yep.
Cool, man. Well, that was a great story. I had no idea there was all that drama behind that cool video, but now I know. And thanks for sharing. And I'm glad that it's more or less resolved. What else you got for us, man? What other stories?
Well, I had a pretty wild coos deer hunt in Arizona this past year. I actually just posted a YouTube video and gave a little recap because at the time, once again, I didn't share it. It felt kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Also kind of revolves around like not conflict with other hunters, but issues with sharing the field that exists on public land, you know, and nobody's really lamenting that. That's just the reality of it. But I decided, like, one of my life goals, dude, is to kill a coos deer with a bow. And I've put a lot of effort and energy into it. I've killed several, like 5 or 6 with a rifle.
Okay.
But I've never had it come together on an archery coos deer, which is funny. Like, my little brother, I think, killed the first one he ever put a stock on and pissed me off. But I can't, for the life of me, just like, I've had opportunities, I've had misses, I've had close calls. So I found a spot down in Arizona that I went down and decided I was going to hunt this past year. And it's a really cool spot. It just has a lot of big trees, and the deer travel through these tree lines. They act like whitetail, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They get up and move during different times in the day in the rut, but it's a really good, like a travel corridor, kind of like a rut funnel where these deer move throughout the day. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get in a tree and I'm going to try to kill a coos deer out of a tree. I don't think it's been done a whole lot. It has been done. Some of those Arizona guys tree stand them and stuff. But I'm like, I'm going to go in mobile hunter style with tree saddle and see what I can do.
Okay.
So I got in this bottom, and right when I walked into this big stand of oaks, there was a buck in there rutting does. And I kind of bumped him, but not really. And that's how I decided where I was going to put my saddle up. And I climbed up in this tree stand, and the first evening in the stand, I had like 4 bucks walk under me. But they were all just like tiny, like spike bucks and stuff and does. Nothing I wanted to shoot.
Gotcha. You only have one tag, I assume. It's not like you can harvest multiple, right?
Yeah, okay. Yep. That's a one, and even it's getting to be a pretty tough tag to get. So I didn't want to just shoot anything.
Okay.
So got in the tree the next morning, and had some does and stuff walk by, and then like maybe 11 o'clock, 10:30 or 11 o'clock, sitting in the tree, and I hear the crunch of a deer approaching. And all of a sudden, this buck is like at my elbow. Like I'm in the tree like this, and I look over, and the buck he's 5 yards, and
how high up do you go, if you don't mind me asking? I've never tree hunted in the stand or any of that stuff, so I don't really know how high you are when I'm picturing this.
Not high.
Okay.
These trees are the worst trees. They're not straight, so it's
kind of like in Molokai where you were like, whatever, I'll find something.
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, same story. Like I bet my feet were 7 feet off the ground.
Okay.
So I'm like not high up at all, but I'm on this little platform. And the buck is like, he's right here. So I grab my bow, I draw, and he walks out and stops. It had to be 10 to 15 yards, okay. Right? So I just sink the 20 pin, shoulder pocket, let the arrow go, and it just smokes him. Just hits him exactly how you want to hit him.
Awesome.
Like sick, like pulled it off. And he's not a giant buck, but he's a mature deer. He's heavy. He's a forky, but he's like a wide, heavy buck,
Okay.
A deer I'd be stoked with. So he runs out about 60 yards, and he just kind of stands there switching his tail and waiting for him to tip over. And I hit him with a G5, a mega meat, like big broadhead.
Okay.
And watch him in my binoculars. I can see blood running off the side. I'm like, deer is smoked. We're golden. So I standing there in the tree, and he kind of walks out of sight. I'm like, cool. So I start kind of getting my stuff gathered up.
Join us at a Friends of NRA event where freedom, fun, and firearms come together like nowhere else. With more than 600 events held across the country, there's always one happening near you. From exciting games to exclusive auctions featuring one-of-a-kind firearms and gear you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're a lifelong hunter, a competitive shooter, or simply passionate about defending freedom, there is a seat for you. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you and get ready for a night you won't forget.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
And I realized, I'm like, oh man, I don't think I got that on video. I had 3 cameras set up. I had a GoPro on my hat clip. I had a 360 camera above me in the tree. I look at the GoPro, it's turned off. I look at the 360 camera, it says card corrupted, card not found.
Jeez.
And then the whole time I'm watching him, I have my big camera on him, and I realized I hit record and just turned on the screen, and I didn't actually start recording. I just turned on the screen.
I just turned the camera off.
So,
jeez.
yeah, so I'm 0 for 3 on the video. So I'm already just like, what the heck? So out of nowhere, man, I'm getting my stuff gathered up, and this freaking dog, like a bird dog,
Okay.
just runs underneath me, like a streak, like it's flying, right? Hauls butt underneath me and goes right where the deer was, and it stops and it kind of starts sniffing around where that deer was standing, and then it barks a few times and starts just running the direction that the deer went.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? And it's a bird hunter's dog, you know. And then a few minutes later, I see a guy walking, you know, about 50 yards to my left, and he has a remote, like he's trying to get his dog to come back. He's toning it, beep, 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 beep. And his dog's just gone down the canyon. So I'm like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. But, you know, I think that the deer had time to die. It's no big deal. So I get out of the tree, walk over there, and there's a giant pile of lung blood, foamy, perfect blood. There's 2 big spots. And then I can see where the deer walked away. It's bleeding out both sides. There's like a solid trail of blood. I'm like, oh, we're fine.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Game over.
Well, yeah, I get over to where kind of the dog headed into the canyon, and there's just drop of blood, drop of blood, drop of blood. And then there's running deer tracks going down the draw. And I get on that track, and I soon realize, like, that's the buck I shot. He's running. And there's just blood here and there on a cactus. And I followed that deer about 300 yards and just lost blood. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, I smoked that deer. I'm sure of it, you know. And it's like, how can he live? Maybe with the angle and single lung. Like, I'm trying to go through all these scenarios in my head, but I looked for that buck for 3 days.
No shit.
And I never found him. I don't know. I'm sure he died. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that dog pushed him and he crawled up in a big patch of cactus and hid and just died somewhere where I couldn't find him. But I mean, I zigzagged every tree stand, everything I could
That's
find.
crazy.
I've been back down there.
You ever run into that
since,
hunter?
and I've never found him.
Or the bird dog guy, I guess? Did you ever run into him and chat with him at all, or no?
No, I didn't have a chance to. I was getting out of the tree when he was kind of walking past me, and by the time I got out and went over there, like, he was long gone down the canyon. So it was, I'm like, what a stupid stroke of bad luck, you know?
Yeah.
I really think that dog that spooked that deer, and, you know, gave it that little adrenaline burst to get somewhere that I just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So
God, that's crazy.
It was crappy.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Is the area known for, like, having good birds, for, like, quail or anything like that?
Yeah, the whole south end of the state is loaded with quail,
Okay.
and it was doves, and so, like, yeah, you see bird hunters all the time when you're hunting these desert mule deer and coues deer and stuff. So
Okay.
it's not uncommon, but just to have somebody walk on you like that, it's like, wow.
Yeah, right after you shot. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, man, I can't. What kind of bad luck, man? I'm sorry to just have a dog. Like, you shoot this deer that you've been trying for years to kill. You finally get one. You're
Yeah.
super stoked with it, and then a dog just comes up and just runs it off.
Yeah,
That's
it was
insane.
pretty. It was pretty wild, man. But it was It's life, you know?
Yep. That's the name of the game. Cool, man. Well, do you have any more? Or I don't know. I don't remember it that well, but I know you killed a buck when we went to Molokai. Do you want to tell that story? I remember you complaining a lot about the shrubs, which I dug into that stuff a little bit too, and I understand entirely. But do you want to share? You were the first one in our group to get a buck when we went out there back in June.
Yeah, and that was my first axis deer buck too. Like I had been there the year prior, and I've hunted them in Texas in a couple places. But yeah, it was the first axis buck I'd ever killed, and it was kind of a fluke. Like I knew that there was deer in those canyons, but most of the hunting was going on, you know, on the lower stuff down on the flats. People would catch the deer coming in and out of the fields and where they were moving down low. But the last night we were in Molokai. The year prior, we were leaving to go to the airport, and so me and Eric ended up just sitting on the back deck and glassing from the house.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a pile of deer in those canyons, and ever since then I've been like, I have to go check those canyons out. So I looped over into that canyon behind the house, and like, dude, I felt like I was in a fist fight with 20 barn cats trying to walk through that freaking thorn brush, dude. Like I fought that stuff. Like it was down my neck. I had thorns, like infected thorns stuck in my hands. My clothes were tore up. And I'm like, I was just pissed fighting this garbage brush. I don't even know what they call it, but I finally got to where I kind of wanted to go, where I could see in the canyon. Came out, like ducked out from under a bush, and I look, and there's an axis buck feeding on the other side of the canyon from me. And it's a steep canyon, so it's kind of far away, but I'm like, man, with the angle, the deer's, you know, he's not out of range.
Yeah.
So I pulled up and ranged him. He was like 110 yards, and I'm like, well, I can get to bow range really easy. So I started just sneaking down the canyon towards him, stayed really calm, and just kept moving. I'd range him, you know, 90, 85, 80, 75. I think I got to 73 yards on him, maybe 75.
Yeah.
And there was like no wind. Everything was calm. I had a really flat spot on the hillside that I could shoot from, and the buck was just feeding. I'm like, I think I'm going to shoot him from right here. So ranged him, took my time, drew back. And I remember like, I've been working a lot on overcoming my target panic, especially like last year. I was really in the thick of it.
Okay.
And I have this mental process that I've been working through, the Joel Turner method, you know. But I remember settling my pin and going through my whole process and feeling that arrow break. And as soon as I let that arrow go, I'm like, that deer is dead.
Yeah.
I watched it just sail perfectly, and it just smashed it right in the crease of the shoulder, right where you want it. And it went through behind this shoulder and out through this shoulder, and basically pinned the deer's shoulders together. So it tried to run, and it just went, dude, face first into a big old tree. And then it smashed the tree, kind of like stumbled down the hill, and by the time it got down to the bottom, it was rolling. And I was like, holy crap. I mean, such an effective arrow. That deer was dead in seconds.
Yeah.
And, even watching him die and watching him go down, it took me forever to get down there and find it, because the thorns in the brush were so freaking bad. So he ended up being piled up in the bottom of the draw, and he's just a young buck. But like after not killing a buck with my bow the year before on Molokai, I was pretty freaking stoked to get my hands on that thing. And I cut it up, quartered it out, took it back to the house.
Delicious.
It was pretty. Oh yeah, man, it was so good.
I remember coming back to camp, and you were obviously like, you looked beat up. You looked like you'd been on an adventure, man, but you were stoked. So it's pretty cool. And I remember you telling me you shot it at 73 yards, and I was like, man, like I earlier in the day, I was in the water, the broken pipe area, and I was up at that top blind, and same thing. I went through my process, had a doe at 60 yards, and I think I had that exact same moment of zen, that feeling of like dead deer. And then I just watched that deer just sprint off as soon as my bow made a noise. So when you said you hit it at 73, I was like, holy shit. I was like, your bow is super fast, or I don't know, maybe the audio was different because of the canyon you were in. But I realized I have to bring it into 40. I can't. My arrows aren't fast enough, I guess, to kill anything beyond 40 yards. And then I ended up putting down a good buck. But it was impressive that you dropped one at 73 yards, man.
Well, thanks, man. I feel like with these axis deer, it has to be like 60 plus or under 10. Like, I feel like it's way harder to shoot them 30, 40 because the bow's louder. They hear it go off closer, but they have enough time to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And I feel like when they hear that bow go off, maybe 60 or 70 yards, it's not as much of a spooking thing to them,
Maybe.
you know, and they might hear it, but they don't have it doesn't seem as urgent to get out of the way.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed with those deer. Like the few that I've killed, I've either killed them really close or kind of far. I set that broken pipe blind, and dude, I got dodged by everything because you're taking like a 40-yard shot. I had 2 great opportunities at does that they weren't even in the same zip code when my arrow got there, dude.
Yeah.
Like it was almost comical.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Like, yeah, it's like you look like your arrow's going in slow motion because they're so far gone by the time it gets there.
Yeah.
But that's just the axis deer game. I mean, it's not even like I've been ducked by whitetails and stuff before where they'll drop under it, but like, man, these deer have spun and they're halfway up the hill and your arrow just like falls in the dirt.
Yeah.
What is this? This is bull crap.
Right? Man, I've used it on, I've explained my shot on that 60-yard shot on that doe is like, it felt like the deer had time to run up, slap me across the face, and then run off before my arrow landed. It was just like, I had no chance, even though I've never felt better about an arrow, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But man, it is a ton of fun. It is a ton of fun. And then I had the other one where I shot the doe at like 15 yards. If you remember, Rick, he moved from the top blind across the little ravine at Broken Pipe and like made that little one. I was laying down there because I shoot lefty, so it was like the perfect setup for me. So I'm just leaning down. I actually moved his blind a little bit, and Drew, while I was laying down, sat up and put it right through a doe. It didn't move at all, but I hit that no man land like right up, like I guess below the backstrap. Didn't see a drop of blood. I just couldn't believe I couldn't find that deer.
Yeah. They're wild creatures, man. And we got the chance to go that next week to Maui and hunt them a bunch more. And it's a lot easier with a rifle.
I bet.
I think I killed 5 on Maui, so that was
awesome.
all right.
So delicious too. I still have a little bit of meat left, not too much.
Same. I'm kind of running out.
Yeah, but you've had other successes. Me as well. I don't know if I told you, but I got a moose this year, cow moose, and the antelope behind me. You can see that. That was a pain in the ass with the bow. I got lucky, so got very lucky.
They're tough, man. Yeah, I've killed 1 antelope with my bow, dude. They are not easy.
Yeah, I probably spent 7 days spot and stock hunting, and like that day, I had spent at least 2 hours laying in a sagebrush flat, face down, because I was trying to stock up on one that was looking the other direction, but I had a foot of elevation and about a foot of brush, and that's all I had to work with. And so I was just crawling, and then he looked my way, and I just face down in the brush. Just miserable. I don't know if I'm ever going to try and do it again, but I got one. Pretty happy with that.
That's good. Yeah, that counts, man.
Yeah. Well, what else you got for us, Ben? You got any other stories? Any other ones that popped to the top of your mind?
I think my archery antelope story was pretty dang cool.
Love it.
Kind of reminded me of it. So I drew a limited entry. Everything in Utah for antelope is limited entry, but in between elk tags, I drew a archery tag, and everybody kind of told me I was dumb for getting it because it's a hard unit, and then to do it with a bow is tough.
Yeah.
But I ended up finding a pond out there, and it was a dry year, and everything kind of lined up where I ended up getting some really good chances at some good antelope. But the first day I took my kid with me. I'm like, I'm going to put my 5-year-old in the blind, and we're going to go sit on this water. And we had a camera guy with us, so the 3 of us are crammed in this little ground blind. And I've been scouting this spot, and I know there's like one smoke or giant goat that's been hitting this water. So I'm like, we'll go try it, see what happens. Like, I have no idea if this is going to work or not. So put up the ground blind, hopped in there with everybody. I remember my 5-year-old had like a screaming through a fit because he wanted to bring something, and I didn't let him.
Yeah.
And that was like at prime time.
Sounds like a 5-year-old. Yep.
Yeah.
I have one of
typical
those.
5-year-old stuff.
About perfect example.
So it gets to be about 8 or so in the morning, and I look out the blind window, and dude, here comes our number 1 buck. It's freaking giant antelope. It's like, it's in the 80s for sure.
Yeah.
And it's walking in, and it's just on a beeline to the pond. Well, it gets kind of to the far side of the pond, and I don't know if it saw something it didn't like, but something's kind of spooked it, and it ran around, and it came in on our side of the pond and popped its head out. And dude, I'm like, oh, I'm going to smoke this thing. So it comes up to the water, and it starts drinking at 24 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over, my boy's watching, the camera guy's on him, and I'm like, you ready? He's like, yeah. So I go to draw my bow, and I'm like about to draw and settle my pin, and I hit my elbow on the back of the blind, like it just touched it.
Yeah.
And then it made me flinch, and when I flinched like that, my finger hit my release, and the bow went off. So I'm like, boom, and like my arrow
That's a great noise.
sticks in
That's
the
the exact
dirt.
noise I would hear.
Dude,
Yeah.
it sticks in the dirt at this antelope's feet. And I'm like, no, like this is a book freaking archery go all day.
Yeah.
And it, like, antelope kind of like spins, runs out, and he runs to 40 and stops right in front of the blind. I'm like, all right, okay, we're fine. I draw, don't hit the blind, settle in, everything perfect. Oof, and I break that release, dude, and I shoot the center divider out of the front two windows in the blind. And I just fold it, and the front of the blind goes like this and closes down, and we can't even see. So I'm like looking out the blind. I'm like, where did that arrow go? No idea. It's nowhere near the goat.
Yeah.
Anyway, he runs back out. So I'm like, that's all right. He'll come back. I'll get another chance. So I sat that water for 6 days waiting for that antelope to come back.
Yeah.
This is August. You're 95 plus degrees out where I'm hunting. Roasting, dude. I'm like in this blind in my underwear, like chugging on freaking energy drinks and water all day.
Yeah.
And he never comes back. Some other good goats come in. I passed some. I missed one. And I'm just like, man, I just like am not putting this thing together. So finally it gets to be the second to last day that I can hunt. Elk hunts are starting and everything. And I'm like, I got to get this done with. So I went in with the killer mentality. I'm like, whatever comes in today is dying.
Yep.
So 8 or 9 in the morning, this buck comes in and it stops stops to drink at 55. And I'm like, all right, draw, shoot, buck spins and runs. I'm like, not sure if I hit it or not. Stops again. I range it. It's 87. I draw, pooh, and I watch that arrow just smash through its shoulders. And it's kind of quarter two, through the shoulders goes and breaks the back hip.
Ooh.
So the buck, I mean, I was shooting a 155 grain broadhead. I was shooting like the heaviest setup I've ever shot.
Yeah.
But anyway,
why were
through
you
the shoulders,
was it
through
just
the hip.
because that's what you had set up for that season? Like typically people go lighter with antelope so they could shoot farther.
Yeah, I was just trying to like, I was shooting an 80-pound bow.
Okay.
And I was shooting heavy arrows. Like I just built a super heavy setup just for fun. That's all it was.
Hey, it worked.
But yeah, and I was still getting good speed out of it and everything. But anyway, basically like almost cuts this antelope in half, just like lethal. It falls over and dies. Just a little buck. I'm like, oh, that was cool. So I go out there, I start quartering this buck up and taking care of it and everything. And I look up, dude, and here comes the freaking day one goat.
Oh my God.
Like this buck that I missed twice. And dude, I have a picture of him and with the antelope I shot sitting in the foreground, and he's standing at 60 yards watching me quarter this buck that I just killed. And that was the first time he'd been back to the water. He walked in, he drank, walked out. I mean, could have killed him all freaking day.
Yeah.
And that was just, I just had to watch him go, man.
That's
he was
crazy.
Such a giant.
Antelope are funny because they know exactly when you have no chance. And like they'll hang out. Like
I swear that's true.
I don't know what it is. Like they know exactly where public and private lines are. Like I'll drive all day on public. You spot one, get out of the car, boom, gone. You see one on private and you step out of the car and it'll just stand there 40 yards from you. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, how do you know that I have no chance to actually kill you and you're just hanging tight? They're just, I don't know. I hate them.
They're so dumb that they're smart.
I think so. I had the last day, the day that I actually killed my antelope. I'll tell you this quick story. I've told it before on the podcast, but it was my first stock and I get some and I decided you don't spot and stock antelope. You spot and stock an opportunity to hunt antelope, because if you go after every one, you're just going to waste a lot of time. So you got to like find one that's looking the wrong direction, park near whatever topography. So I find this one and he's on the other side of this hill, top of this bigger draw, and it's always windy up there, and I know it's windy. And I also have one of those decoys you put on the front of your bow.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard great things. I've never had an antelope care two shits about it. Like they're just like, it doesn't matter if it's just me or me and that. It doesn't matter. They're not interested. But I put it on the front of my bow. I climb up on top of this big hill to get to the guy on the other side. He's looking the other way, and I'm trying to range him, and the wind's ripping, and I start pulling full draw, and that decoy rips off the front of my bow. Just that Velcro noise, you know? And I'm probably 70 yards, but I have a good shot at this bedded buck, and he doesn't even look back. He just is gone. And I was just like, all right, well, I'm putting the decoy away. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. And yeah, but I did get one later that day. But again, it was just drive. We had access to a small chunk of private, drove down there, and there was a 40 antelope. And it was like that perfect lighting, super late in the evening, really long shadows and a little bit of brush. So I was like, I can just walk up to them. They can't see me because the sun's behind me. I walk up to this herd, not one buck. I get to 30 yards on a herd of 40 antelope, and it's all does. and calves. And I'm like, well, you know, and I'm just like, this is it. That's it. That's the end of the day. Let's go home, drink some beers, or just relax. Driving back, there's like, you know, checkerboard, public, private. So we drive by one and we're like, oh crap, that one is on private. So we turn around, come back down the highway, don't see him, turn back around, and we're come through again, and he's right there on the other side of this draw. And my buddy, I mean, it was like a 2-foot drop off the highway to like get off onto like the easement or whatever you want to call it. But he drops just go. Like, I don't know how this antelope didn't run off, but we just fly off the highway. He parks. I jump across this road, and I'm slowly stalking up, and it's like 30 seconds of light is what I have. I have like no light, and I range him. He's 32 yards, and I'm like, no, I must be hitting some grass or something. Like, I don't believe it. I range him 6 times, just like over and over and over, being like, no way, I've never been 32 yards on an antelope. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's do this thing. So I pull back, and I have, you know, most pulls are good, but this pull, for whatever reason, was one where your arrow kind of ding, 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 right at the right in your arrow rest. And I was like, oh no. And he looks over his shoulder. And I did not have time for the Joel Turner method. It was a hit that release and send that arrow, and it hit him right behind the shoulder. He was quartering away downhill. I pumped my fist. I'm like, I nailed him. And I'm looking at my buddy, and I'm like, oh, I actually should probably look and see where this deer or this antelope is gone. So I turned back around. He's nowhere to be found. I'm like, shit. And it's now dark, right? Because it was that late. Then I look off to the left. Unfortunately, I use Luminox, and about 200 yards away, I see a Luminox spinning in place. So in like a matter of 10 seconds, he ran 200 yards and was just down. And there you go.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
it's always so good when you can see him die.
Yeah, dude, it was so relieving, especially because like I said, through the course of the season, because I was out there opening day for like 4 days, and I was out there again after I shot my moose for like 3 or 4 more days. It just felt so good to finally get it done. I was over antelope hunting.
Yeah, I feel you, man. The longer those ones go on, it just seems like, man, they turn into such a grind.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. And then I ended up getting super sick the next day and not going elk hunting with my buddy. So it all worked out, though.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. But what else you got for us, Ben? Anything else? Otherwise, we can wrap it here, man. It's your call.
Yeah, man, I think that's all I kind of had in mind, you know. It's like it's good to kind of run through the Hawaii stuff again. I'm getting stoked. Got some stuff coming up. Maybe I'll have some better ones here in the future. You never know.
You're welcome back anytime, brother. Let's do this.
I appreciate it.
I know that you do this for a living, so where can people find you and support you?
Yeah, so everything I do is under the name ShedCrazy. My YouTube channel, ShedCrazy Official, but you know, it's just called ShedCrazy. And yeah, I sell a little bit of merch, not a whole lot. Make some dumb videos and do some YouTube, and that's kind of the long and short of it. I got some cool partners. I got a link on my my Instagram that's to everybody that I work with. So that's the whole gig.
Sweet, man. Did you? I'm assuming you have finished your 50 sheds in 50 states. Is that all wrapped up? Or am I ruining something?
2 states to go.
2 to go. Okay.
No, there's nothing to ruin. Yep. Okay. I got 2 states to go: Louisiana and Virginia.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do. Hopefully, I'll get both of those in February. So we're right up against finishing it here. But
awesome, man.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, you have a natural talent for finding sheds, which makes sense. Well, well, Ben, thank you, man. I appreciate you taking the time, and it was great catching up, man. Hopefully, we have you back on soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. All right, guys, that's it. Another couple stories in the books. Again, I want to thank Ben, of course, for coming on back in January and recording with me, sharing some of his stories. Hopefully we get to go out into the woods, whether that's in Molokai or Utah or wherever, again, sometime soon. And hope you guys enjoyed that story. It was an interesting one, and it's especially interesting, something that I've been sitting on for months and was excited to hopefully get to release. We were trying to reschedule and record different stories to kind of salvage the episode, and man, that guy's busy. Ben, he's just always in the woods, always looking for sheds and always hunting. So, again, Ben, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Please, if you can, take 30 seconds and give this episode a review. It helps me get found a little bit more, etc. And then, of course, share the podcast with one other person. Follow the links in the show notes. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Now get out there and make some stories of your own.